Welcome to the fourth annual Shakespeare at Olin. I'm really pleased you've been able to join us today. The Olin community's resilience always inspires me. As we all grapple with a global pandemic that is keeping us homebound, we're finding many ways not only to work, but to stay connected, to continue learning and find enjoyment in the world around us. Today, for the next few minutes, we're gathered together, albeit virtually, to feed our souls through the creative arts. I'm very excited to share that later in the show, we'll have an update on Olin's minor in the business of the arts. And that program is thanks to the leadership, the vision, and the transformative gift from Rich Ritholtz, an Olin undergraduate alum from 1984, and his wife, Linda. And it's thanks to the Ritholtzes that we now have a number of students following their passions and pursuing that minor. The topic of Shakespeare is one about which I'm especially passionate. Not only have I enjoyed the works of Shakespeare over the years, but I constantly find that Shakespeare speaks to us across the centuries, has something to say, whether it's a whole play or just the odd saying like, "See how far that little candle throws his beams. So shines a good deed in a weary world." As Ben Jonson said, Shakespeare was not of an age, but for all time. The focus or theme, if you will, of this year's Shakespeare at Olin event is love. Has any emotion been written about more than love? Love is the fundamental bond that keeps people together, the foundation that helps us experience so many things in life that make us human: joy, sorrow, romance, celebration, despair, passion. I invite you to join us as we explore this thing called love through the lens of Shakespeare's masterpiece, Romeo and Juliet, which will now be the 20 minutes or so passage of our virtual stage. Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene.
From ancient grudge, break to new mutiny.
Where sewer blood makes sewer hands unclean.
From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life.
Whose misadventured piteous overthrows do with their death bury their parents' strife.
The fearful passage of their death marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage.
Which but their children's end, not could remove, is now the 2 hours traffic of our stage.
The which if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend.
Wow, that girl I met at the party earlier was so beautiful. I wonder if she has a Zoom account. Do you need an account to use Zoom? But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is Juliet, and she is online. Oh, her face is as bright as the rising sun. Can she not see me? Is my video not on? Oh man, she's resting her hand on her keyboard. Oh, to be a key on that board so she could be touching me.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? You have to have an account somewhere. Oh God, Romeo. Why are you called Romeo?
Should I log off? Should I at least tell her that I'm here? This is awkward, but kind of awesome.
I mean, how important are names, really? What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Same with Romeo. Romeo, get rid of your name and take all of me.
Done. I am in. Say you love me and I'll become a new person with a new name.
What man art thou that thus bescreent in the night? Have I been hacked?
I don't know how to tell you my name because my name is an enemy to you.
I just met you, but I know who you are. Aren't you Romeo of the Montague family?
I'm whatever you want me to be, honey.
How did you find this meeting room?
I followed my love.
If my mom sees me talking to you, she's going to kill you.
Then kill me. It's worth it.
Oh, do you love me? I know you will say yes. And I will believe you. Oh, Romeo, if you love me, just say it. Or if you think I'm too eager, I'll pretend to play hard to get so you can try to win me. But let's be honest, I can't do that. Because I love you too much. So you might think my love isn't real, but trust me. I'll prove my love is more honest than the love of those who are clever enough to pretend to be uninterested.
Darling, sweetheart, I swear by the moon.
Oh God, don't swear by the moon. The moon changes all the time. If you swear by the moon, your love may be inconstant too.
So what should I swear by?
Oh, don't swear by anything. If you must swear, swear by yourself. Because you are my God now. Oh, good night.
Are you really going to leave me so unsatisfied? We just started talking.
What kind of satisfaction do you think you're going to get tonight?
I think we should DTR.
DTR?
Define the relationship.
I already said I loved you before you even asked. I wish I could take it back.
You would take it back? Why?
So I could say it again for the first time. My love is as deep as the sea and...
Who are you talking to?
No one, Mom! God! Go away! Basically, I think we should get married.
Oh, wow. This is the best night ever. I've got to be dreaming.
I just have a couple of things to tell you before we log off. If you want to marry me, text me tomorrow.
Get off the computer now, young lady.
I have to go. Text me tomorrow.
Now.
I am! Oh, you know what? I'll text you 1,000 times good night.
My life is so much worse without her here. A lover goes to their love like a schoolboy leaving school, but leaves love like.
Are you still there, Romeo? Oh, I miss you already.
My name on your lips is like music to my ears.
Oh, what time should I text you?
At 9.
You got it. It's forever until then. Good night. Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow. I shall say good night till it be morrow. You hang up.
No, you hang up.
No, you hang up.
No, you.
No, you.
No. Oh. She hung up.
A glooming peace this morning with it brings.
The sun for sorrow will not show his head.
Go hence to have more talk of these sad things.
Some shall be pardoned, and some punished.
For never was a tale of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.
Hi, my name is Sandra Filius, and I'm currently a 4-year academic advisor in the undergraduate programs office at the Olin Business School. I'm here to talk to you about our amazing Business Arts minor, which is fitting as we celebrate and enjoy Shakespeare at Olin. The minor is still fairly new. We offered our first class in fall 2019. This minor is available to all WashU undergraduate students in any year and from any school. So we're definitely looking for undergraduate students in Olin, St. Fox, engineering, and arts sci. Now, you must be wondering at this moment, what exactly is Business of the Arts? The purpose of the Business Arts minor is to dig deep on the intersection of business and the arts, and Olin's a natural place to learn all about that. This minor is perfect for students who are interested in starting their own business, focus on their artistic pursuit, and learn how to make it viable and a sustainable business. It is also perfect for students who are interested in working for art-related companies such as theaters, art museums, etc., or want to work with companies that have a creative bent. Examples of this could be companies such as Pinterest or Spotify, or industries such as entertainment, design, or digital media. The minor is only 15 units, with 9 units being required courses, and the remaining 6 being electives that you can choose from. Since the minor is open to all types of students, we have a wide variety of electives from the Olin Business School, Sam Fox, and Arts Eye. We're super excited for year 2 of this minor. If you're interested or know someone who will be interested in this minor, then you can definitely chat to me. I will gladly answer all your questions.
Now I'd like to introduce Tom Ridgely, who I'm delighted to have joining us today. Tom is the executive producer of the Shakespeare Festival St. Louis, and he's kindly agreed to share some of his thoughts with us on Shakespeare and the arts, especially during this period. Prior to joining Shakespeare Festival St. Louis, Tom was the artistic director of Waterwell in New York City, which he co-founded in 2002. And I'm delighted to serve on Tom's board here at the Shakespeare Festival, where he's made a real impact since coming to St. Louis just a couple of years ago. So, without further ado, Tom Ridgely.
Thank you, Dean Taylor. It is a pleasure to be with you all virtually in this way. And I want to applaud the Dean and all of the Dean's players for your speed and ingenuity and flexibility in converting the Shakespeare at Olin events into this online experience that we're all enjoying now. I say that because it is exactly the kind of thing that Shakespeare would have thought to do and appreciated. Shakespeare gets a lot of credit, and rightly so, for his playwriting and his sonneteering and the like. But what may be underappreciated is his real savvy as a businessman. He was, for much of his career, a sharer in his company, which was the Lord Chamberlain's Men and later the King's Men. It essentially meant that he was a partner in a limited liability company. He and a few other fellow sharers were essentially the owners of the concern, and one's responsible for its continued success and for all the people that worked for it and all of the assets that it had. And there were many times in Shakespeare's career when his business was confronted with the exact same challenges that so many businesses are faced with today. The plague visited London almost constantly throughout Shakespeare's life, and there were outbreaks that were so severe at least 3 times that forced the closure of all the theaters in London. And each time Shakespeare managed to find a way not only to survive, but to thrive. And he did that in 3 ways. Firstly, he found a way to essentially reinvent his business model. Obviously, the business of theater is the business of bringing people together at the Globe or anywhere else to sit down, share in the space and a story, and then all go home on your merry way. That being impossible in London, what Shakespeare's company and what a lot of the playing companies did is, since they couldn't bring audiences to them, they decided to go and find new audiences, new customers in new markets by packing up their shows and taking them on the road and touring the provinces, trying to stay a few steps ahead of the news of the plagues that were going on in London. This was less of an innovation than it was a kind of retrieval of an old business model, an old way of working. English playing companies for decades did this. It's how they survived before there were purpose-built theaters in London. But by the time Shakespeare was writing, that had ceased to be the way they worked. So it was something that they had to switch to very quickly when they realized that there was really no other hope of them generating any sort of income for the foreseeable future. So this helped see them through. The second and probably most significant thing that Shakespeare did is he created new and innovative products that he could sell. in a time like this. So Shakespeare, the first time the theaters closed down, he was in his late 20s. He was an actor. He'd written some early plays, but he hadn't really made a name for himself yet. And he realized that he was looking at months and months, if not longer, of total unemployment. So he luckily had at his disposal a relatively new bit of technology that would allow him to reach a large number of people and to reach them in the comfort of their own homes. That piece of technology was the printing press, and Shakespeare did something that he'd never ever done before, which is that he actually tried to publish something. And the first thing he published was not a play, not a sonnet like he's also known for, but an epic erotic poem called Venus and Adonis, which is based on a sort of obscure corner of Greek mythology about the goddess of love seducing, or at least in his version, attempting to seduce an extraordinarily handsome young hunter, Adonis. This was, and still is, a very racy poem, very suggestive. Even today, it can raise eyebrows and even quicken the pulse. So this poem flew off the shelves and became a runaway bestseller and made Shakespeare a household name, whereas before he'd been a complete unknown. And it's hard to underestimate how huge that was for Shakespeare's career. The freedom and the confidence and the cachet that he had built up with this poem, especially among the more upmarket elite crew that did things like read and buy books, was transformative for him. And he went on what is arguably the greatest artistic hot streak in the history of the world after that, churning out every play that he's known for: Richard III, Romeo and Juliet, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Julius Caesar, As You Like It, Hamlet, and many, many more over the next 10 years before the next time the theaters were closed down. So a total reinvention of himself as an artist and as a worker by completely shifting the kinds of things that he did, the kinds of work that he produced, the kinds of products that he offered. And it ended up being very, very successful. The last thing he did was he trusted in the future and built up a stockpile, the sort of inventory of, in his case, new plays. So he would spend the time writing, revising, waiting for the moment when the inhibition, as it was called, the lockdown was lifted, the theaters would reopen again, and box offices would start humming, so that his company was sure to be ready with a cache of new plays for when people could finally go out, get together again, and no doubt would be excited and eager and relieved and grateful to be able to enjoy each other's company and enjoy an incredible new play. So I hope that the next time you think of Shakespeare, in addition to his unparalleled artistry, I hope you'll also think of him with at least a small amount of appreciation for his business acumen. And with that, I'll let you all take it away. Thanks again for having me.
Thank you, Tom, for sharing your time and insights. Well, thank you for joining us today, and I hope you enjoyed this respite from your workday. We'll make the link of this event available on our website if you would like to watch it again or to share it with friends. So stay safe, be well.